T-Game! Okay, a brand new trailer for the Mortal Kombat 2 movie just came out today. So here we are, about 2 months away from the release of Mortal Kombat 2. They were going to release it in October 2025. Decided to push it to May 8th, 2026. Probably to get some of that summer blockbuster heat. And it'll probably be one of the earlier blockbusters of the summer blockbuster season. And I'm excited to see it. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to seeing this brand new trailer. So let's get into it without further ado.
You want to know what makes a hero? It's not destiny. It's not something you're born with. It's searching for greatness.
Johnny Cage, you have been chosen for Mortal Kombat.
Then realizing you've had it in you this entire time.
Whoa! I really don't feel comfortable hitting a girl.
Don't worry. You won't.
Yo! Send me back. I want to go back.
The rules of the tournament are simple. Our fates would not be settled by the size of our armies. They would be decided by combat.
I'm not some great warrior. I'm not some champion.
This is a war for the fate of your world. Finish him!
Me?
Earth belongs to me.
We do not kneel!
Our only chance is to face this together.
Let's go, baby.
You, Johnny Cage, are a part of this now. It's showtime.
Get over here!
Johnny will definitely die.
After all these years, they still use that same Mortal Kombat yell. I wonder if they've ever re-recorded it or it really is the same. I truly believe this film is going to be a lot better than the first one. Like I said before, it's going to be a soft reboot in a way. Johnny is going to be similar to the first 95 film that came out. That story retold.
Sorry.
But before I go any further into this breakdown of this brand new Mortal Kombat 2 trailer, don't forget to take a moment to scissor kick that like button, nut punch that subscribe button, and ground freeze the notification button. It really helps our brother out and it goes a long way. Now let's continue on with my breakdown of the Mortal Kombat 2 2026 trailer. Right off the bat, we see Johnny sitting at a table at a comic expo of some sort, not looking too excited. He's at the table, he's kind of brooding, he's taking his glasses off in slow motion, and for a moment, you might think this might be the trailer for Mortal Kombat Existential Crisis, the movie.
It has begun!
He's looking over with slight envy at other tables, with busier tables who are at people coming to get autographs all around him. He's surrounded by all of his own personal swag. He has lots of posters. Definitely not as a huge star as he used to be. As you look to his right, you see someone named Evelyn Crawford, who is actually part of the DC universe. So they're doing a little bit of a DC connection here, considering that Mortal Kombat is owned by WB, who also owns Mortal Kombat. Evelyn Crawford's superhero name is Starling, was the first member of Black Canary's newly formed Birds of Prey. Seem to be acknowledging out loud that this is somehow connected to the DC universe, or at least the actors of the world are. So they're doing this weird meta connection of Johnny's an actor and then in that same world. But you can also see the poster right behind her that says the hunt, as in the huntress. He's also surrounded by his old movies, his posters. He's got sunglasses for sale, but some of his posters, specifically the one near him, looks a lot like the first Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise, the cover of it. He's facing a different way, but a lot of his movie posters that are around him are similar to Tom Cruise movie posters. Quantum Commando, Uncaged Fury, Citizen Cage. There's a TV playing what looks like this same scene from that same movie is playing on the TV to the left of him. Kind of funny that right behind him you can see the cosplay rehab area as to where his table even is on the floor, like where they position the floors for people that are signing things. It's done strategically, and I've been to these expos, and like certain actors or actresses will just have a longer line of people waiting, and then right next to them there could be someone with like a small line or nobody even there. So putting him right by the cosplay rehab table, which is a thing they actually have at these things where people who might have cosplay that needs to get fixed, they can go there and like fix it themselves or get the person at the counter to help them fix it. To see that he's sitting right next to the cosplay rehab table, which usually is tucked away in the corner somewhere. And also over his left shoulder behind his poster, you can see its events. Comic stores will have their own little kiosk area, and it says Radiant Studios and Enigma Comics right behind there. You can almost barely make it out, but it says Enigma Comics. Is that another hint towards DC and the Riddler? I'm seeing at least 2 DC references in this picture. In this little quick image, there's actually so much going on that's kind of nuts. He has tons of movies and videos for sale as well, and a box full of them because nobody wants to buy them. Johnny is not exactly in the best place in his career right now.
You want to know what makes a hero? It's not destiny.
What appears to be Shang Tsung's castle, and then we see in some sort of throne room someone who appears to be young Kitana hugging her father, King Jarrod. Jarrod's played by Desmond Chain. Young Kitana is played by Sophie Zhu. We're seeing a flashback with young Kitana. She's going to be more integral to the story than... They're making it pretty clear that this is mainly Johnny Cage's story, but is there also going to be Kitana's stories too, which I don't know why, because Kitana's never been a main character. They could be forcing her into it for reasons I don't want to get into. But young Kitana and her dad, King Jarrod, hugging each other in this throne room. Jarrod is about to get into a fight that he's not going to win with Shao Kahn.
It's not something you're born with. It's searching for greatness.
Johnny Cage.
And we see a rake going through the sand, making the circular rounds that they make. We don't actually see who's behind these cherry blossoms. Very likely it's Hanzo Hasashi, played by Hiroki Sanada, who's playing Scorpion, who was a part of the first movie. We see the cherry blossoms, and in Japanese culture, cherry blossoms are rooted in Japanese culture, and they symbolize the transient. We get a close-up of somebody who's burnt to a crisp, and it's actually hard to tell who it is from the side angle, but even when I rotate it up close, it could be Lord Raiden, or also could be Sub-Zero. It could be Shang Tsung. Up close, I still can't tell who this is. And we got Raiden, played by Tadanobu Asano, doing his electrical thingy, showing up to Johnny in a parking lot, approaching him about entering this tournament.
You have been chosen for Mortal Kombat.
Then realizing you've had it in you this entire time.
We got Johnny giving this little speech, and if I had to guess, this could be a speech from one of his movies, not something he actually says in real life. It's a pretty common theme in all types of movies where the power has been inside you all time. Just like Star Wars, the Force is always the best example of that kind of theme of you always had the ability to do it, you just didn't know it yet. Just like the Force. In reality, it's just faith in yourself. That's all it is. Sounds like it could be a speech from one of his corny movies. In the parking lot, putting his stuff away that he never sold. Raiden and Sonya Blade just come up out of nowhere in Raiden's magical portal. So it's like Raiden is using his portal ability, but he's able to do it in long ranges. Perhaps that's something that's been new in the newer lore. I'm not super familiar with current or more recent Mortal Kombat lore, even though I did get the recent Mortal Kombat collection, which is a great collection. He's about to walk through this new door and go on this brand new adventure. If I had to guess, that happens within the first 10 minutes or so of the movie. Being that I am a screenwriting master and know how structure works, that's probably within the first 10 minutes or so of the movie. And then the first act is him getting retrained on how to fight. At first, he takes that like almost like a joke, but he still goes along with it to see what's going to happen.
Whoa! I really don't feel comfortable hitting a girl.
Don't worry. We won't.
Johnny gets literally pulled into Mortal Kombat, and suddenly for him it's showtime. Then we see Kitana in all her Kitana glory, decked out with a suit that is more in line with the newer games. Definitely not the style of the older Kitana suit. And comparison-wise, her suit seems to be the most similar to Mortal Kombat 11. So Johnny makes a funny little quip, ironic considering in the Mortal Kombat games, you're always fighting women. Men are fighting women. Women are fighting women. Men are fighting men. That's just how it is. In meta joke with this fatality lore where the game is used as a joke that hitting female characters might actually be a faux pas just before ripping their skulls off. This moment here strikes me as a testing moment for Johnny. They were testing his might by setting him up with a fight against Kitana. And if I had to guess, not long after he gets there, maybe almost immediately, he's thrown into this battle with Kitana so they could see how he handled himself. Looks like he got his butt kicked. Was that from the fact that he really didn't want to hit her? Does he eventually have to start hitting her so she'll leave him alone?
We won't.
So structurally, yes, this would still be in the first act, the act where your main character has to like prepare themselves. So it's like they're using the themes of Mortal Kombat, where in the older posters, it would actually say, prepare yourself. So this is what Johnny's doing. They're helping him get prepared. They're testing his might against Kitana and probably losing. But he's Johnny Cage, and Johnny always gets back up, even after he gets his butt kicked. The movie itself is set in a fantastical world where Earthrealm and Outworld are locked in a deadly tournament with high stakes. Earthrealm's 10 consecutive loss, which will allow Shao Kahn to invade then conquer Johnny Cage. The washed-up actor pulled into the battle, contrasting his real-world persona with the fantastical setting. Kitana can just make masks come on her face or not, and Baraka can make sharp sticks fly out of his arm. So we'll just have to believe it. These aren't technical physical powers that they use by using wrist gauntlets or anything, but I'm curious to see if Johnny's going to get his own power. They haven't indicated that at all yet, that if Johnny's going to get his own special power, and if he does, is it going to be the nut punch power? That should be a thing he can just do anyways. Fantastical power, will it just be like the green orb toss that he does in the... Behind Kitana, you can see it looks like a blacksmith station, which is something you'd see even in video games, but could also easily just be like any type of background you'd see in any Mortal Kombat game, but a blacksmith. But it's also something you see in a regular video game like RPGs, NPC characters. You go to them to get weapons repaired and built.
Yo, send me back. I want to go back.
The rules of the tournament are simple. Our fates would not be settled by the size of our armies. They would be decided by combat.
Kitana kicks Johnny's butt, and then he says he wants to go back. So it's hard to tell if that's directly after that scene with Kitana, as when he's walking in, you can see Sonya behind him. Some kind of event took place where Johnny wants to go back, still be in the first act of the film. He needs to resist the call to adventure. Just straight up the hero's journey. He wants to go back. That's him resisting the call, but he's still going to go through with it, obviously. So when he says he wants to go back, he's likely either talking to Raiden or Lui Kang, as Lui Kang seems to be pretty deeply involved as well with what's happening with Johnny and getting him ready for the tournament. And the reveal of the release date, May 8th. They actually went back to the older trailers that came out last year that for when it was coming out in October and changed the date to May. The official day is May 8th. It's also coming out on IMAX, and I believe IMAX is on a different date. I have a good feeling about it. I think it's going to be a lot better than the first, essentially just a soft reboot. I think there's a lot riding on this, because if it turns out to be successful, I mean, they made a second one, and the first one wasn't even the massive hits. They could easily be a third one. We're in what looks like a flashback to Kitana, and there's a battle between Shao Kahn and her father, King Jared. Doesn't work out very well for King Jared. Shao Kahn kills him, but they're preparing for the battle, as you can see her standing next to her mother as young Kitana. Her mother is actually next to young Kitana is her mom, Sindel. She's the queen of Adina and the wife of King Jared before Shao Kahn killed him and conquered their realm and forced Sindel into marriage. So if this goes by what the lore is, after Shao Kahn kills King Jared, he's going to make Sindel marry him, essentially turn Sindel evil. A shot of King Jared standing tall and proud, people cheering behind him, even though it doesn't do very well because he's going die. Pretty familiar shot from the games. And we see Kung Lao come out of a portal, but he doesn't look right. Up close around his chin, you could see some dark veins there. So whoever this Kung Lao is, under Shang Tsung or someone else's power, as him and Lui Kang are engaged in quite the battle. Don't forget that Kung Lao died in the last movie as Shang Tsung killed him. So this is the resurrected version of Kung Lao. The suit he's wearing is most like the Revenant Kung Lao suit in Mortal Kombat 11. So this is a zombie version of Kung Lao, or he's been resurrected somehow, and he's obviously not a good version of Kung Lao. Will he be turned good? I don't even know if that's possible. But he's fighting against Lui Kang, who's wearing a red suit, which is confusing me because it almost makes me think of Ken from Street Fighter. Up close on Kung Lao's knife helmet, you could see that the blades are now individually and more sharp and serrated, as in where in the first movie it was just one round circular sharpened blade. But this time it's way more vicious and way more deadly, so when he throws it and it spins even more viciously. His suit itself is an amalgamation of a bunch of different suits, and then Liu Kang's suit as well is even, you can't really pinpoint one particular game. The different variations of suits, they're not 100% taking inspiration from one suit transition, which I like. They're taking something similar and putting their own spin on it, which is what Fallout did. And I just wanted a reason to bring up Fallout because I'll bring it up any chance I can. Dealing with a series that has a gazillion trillion variations. Every single game that's come out in the past 10 years or so all have skins. So there's so many different variations of all these people's suits. It would almost be too hard just to pick one. So they just pick the best parts from all the suits that they like the most.
I'm not some great warrior. I'm not some champion.
This is a war for the fate of your world.
Me.
Another shot of Johnny in the bar looking sad, which we already saw. Then we see Hanzo Asishi, or aka Scorpion. We see a quick shot of Kano and Johnny Cage approaching him from behind. This is in the same scene where he's raking the sand with that special four-pronged rake. Kano and Johnny approach him, though it's still unclear as to, is this even really happening? Is he dreaming it? Raiden somehow used a portal to get him there, but they're approaching him. The timelining on this is confusing to me because then it transitions to the Hanzo that is still in the Netherrealm, or aka Hell, which is where he remains since the first film, continuing his role as the vengeful spirit bound by unfinished business. His presence in Hell is rooted in the lore where souls with unresolved vengeance, especially those driven by intense personal loss, cannot pass and remain trapped until their quest for retribution is fulfilled. Of course, he means his wife and kid got killed by Sub-Zero. Johnny's repeatedly saying, I'm not this hero, I'm not this warrior, he keeps saying. Of course, which is a thing he's going to keep saying until the end of the film where he does become the hero, that he keeps saying he's not going to be. There's a part of it that looks like it's still going for a little bit of a cheesiness, but mainly centered around Johnny and the way the actor version of himself can be quite cheesy. Jade and Jax. Jade is bald in this version and played by Tati Gabrielle, who seems to enjoy playing bald characters. So this Jade is bald, and then we also see Jax, who's played by Makad Brooks. Same actor from the first film, and now he has those metallic robotic arms that he got in the first movie, which his arms got smashed off by Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero froze his arms and then smashed them off we see that shot of Hanzo or Scorpion battling in hell, and he's taking on two people at once, and one of them looks like it could be Sub-Zero, or it could just be some sort of, maybe it's assassins coming for him down below in the nether realm. It's assassins from hell, but one of them looked like Sub-Zero, but it's hard to make out exactly who he's fighting, if these are fighting anyone who's actually of note or just a scene of him fighting to show the audience the skills that he has. Raiden telling Johnny this is the war for the fate of his world, Earth realm. So it's the fate of all the realms, including his realm. So this is Raiden giving him a little pep talk. Could be around the time where he still wants to go back, or that moment he said, all right, send me back. And then this is the moment where Raiden is like, can't send you back. Your world might get destroyed and it might be kind of your fault. Some more moments of the fight between Shao Kahn and King Jared, where we already know that Jared gets impaled from behind by Shao Kahn, but then he says finish him, but it's clearly in a different location when he says that in the background. This is a completely different situation wherever Shao Kahn is. Watching someone in a battle finish him, and then they cut to Johnny, but that's also not the same scene. I don't believe that's we saw from the first trailer is Baraka and Johnny having a fight. So that's likely Johnny's first official fight in the tournament after having training fights with Kitana. But now he's having his first real fight with Baraka. It may or may not be going too well for him. He's going to actually win in the end. Will Johnny do his nut split punch? When Shao Kahn finally shows up, he doesn't just walk. He struts like your dad at a barbecue, trying to prove he can flex. Massive shoulders, armor that looks like someone stole IKEA furniture and slapped it on him.
Earth belongs to me.
We do not kneel!
Our only chance is to face this together.
A pretty epic shot. Lui Kang and Kung Lao battling in the Nether Realms with the swirling. Lui Kang is trying to shoot his fire, and Kung Lao is just somehow able to stop it with his bare hands. So is this Kung Lao a zombie? Is this Kung Lao just actually dead and just working completely like an automaton and being controlled by somebody else? Or is he just actually resurrected and alive? 3 people are walking through the Nether Realm, but it's hard to tell who it is, even up close. It's hard to tell exactly who that is. Could it be Sub-Zero? Could it be Shang Tsung down there himself? Could it be somebody who's being sent to hell? Kano suddenly pops up alive. We thought Kano was dead in the last movie. His eye was basically just his new power. In the actual lore of the games, the bionic eye is just actually that. It's just Deus Ex or something. It has this modular thing in his eye that shoots off a beam because he has no eye in that shot. So is that eye going to get replaced with the bionic eye? The magical, fantastical eye to shoot out his classic eye beams? Despite expectations from fans and hints, Kano doesn't have the bionic eye in Mortal Kombat 2. According to reports from test screenings and cast confirmations, the filmmakers have chosen to keep the eye as a wound with scars, not a cybernetic upgrade. So his eye is a Arcana-powered laser ability that he got after being wounded by a reptile. This decision aligns with the character's transformation into Kano 2.0, a version shaped by death and redemption with altered motives. Potential for a bionic eye remains open though, because the film's narrative could set up a future return with cybernetic eye. We hear Shao Kahn say, "Earth belongs to me." And then we see standing in front of him on a throne what looks like Jade. Though if this is Jade, they have more hair than the current Jade, who's almost completely bald. And then what looks like Kitana on her knees, bound from behind. In the up-close shot, you can see the Shao Kahn's skin somewhat reptilian and beaten up. And the style of the suit seems to be most similar to Mortal Kombat 1, the remake, or the reboot of the entire series that came out a couple years in Mortal Kombat 1. And even the mask, though, in this version, the mask covers his entire face.
You will die. Feel the wrath of Shao Kahn.
He doesn't wear a mask that completely covers his entire face. It covers most of his face, but it still leaves a gap for his mouth. The movie version of Shao Kahn is completely covered his face, and he has glowing red eyes, so whatever this version is, it's not human at all. and has very rough reptilian-style skin. This looks to be similar to the very recent Mortal Kombat 1 game version of Shao Kahn. Sonya Blade is using her magic wrist ring powers that you got in the last movie, but they're being stopped by someone who looks like it could be Sindel. It's shouting at them and making the rings come at them in slow motion, but Shang Tsung is using some sort of or emblem or medallion of some sort to suck Raiden towards him, but not suck out his soul. He's actually just pulling Raiden towards him. So we got people blowing Sonya Blade's rings away, and then you got Shang Tsung trying to pull Raiden towards him. And then we see what looks like Sonya Blade and Liu Kang going incognito in some old rags and cloaks. So they're going undercover for some reason, about to have some super secretive meeting where we see Liu Kang just be able to create fire, which is the whole thing about the lore that I'm still not a fan of, where everyone now just has fantastical type abilities. So Liu Kang is just able to generate fire whenever he wants to. That's not the Liu Kang that I know.
Let's go, baby.
You, Johnny Cage, are a part of this now.
You have Jade doing a superhero landing, and then we see that she has some sort of mystical blade. So I think it's just, we're all just going to have to accept that this film is going to have a lot of fantastical elements where they're replacing arcana power as instead of using real world weapons or powers. So all the powers are going to be just fantastical here, and that's just something that we're all just going to have to accept. And we see Liu Kang controlling a huge pile of fire. So Liu Kang's become this super powerful guy with the fire, and then we see him throwing him at someone, and it's Shao Kahn. So Shao Kahn is being thrown with this fire, yet he's still able to defend off it just simply by being a big ass Shao Kahn mofo as he is. Kano and Johnny Cage are in the nether realm somehow. Kano's shooting off his eye beamy thing, and Johnny's sliding right under it. So does Kano do that in a way that he can't control? Considering that he's hard to trust Kano because he could be on their side and then stab them in the back. Kano always plays both sides. So is this Kano doing this in a way that he can't control and Johnny has to duck under it to not get cut in half? Or is Kano actually trying to attack him? Could it be another Revenant version where they died and came back as an evil thing that's being controlled by Shao Kahn or Shang Tsung? Liu Kang and Sonya are fighting Shao Kahn, and you can see Sonya shoot one of her arm rings out, her purple arm rings, and then Shao Kahn just bats it away with his staff. Kitana and Jade are fighting. So in this version of this world, are they enemies or were they just training? Because it depends on what version of the world Jade can be actually on Kitana's side, or could also be an enemy of Kitana. But it's almost kind of hard to tell, as it looks like they could just be training. Speaking of training, it looks like we're back at this hidden temple where Johnny is in the background and what looks like Sonya is watching Liu Kang, Jax, and Cole Young. So that's a training session, not them actually fighting. So this is Sonya probably introducing him to this area for the first time. Hey, this is our secret location, and this is where we like to train. And then Jax doing his special ground pound move, which is from the Mortal Kombat games. Hanzos / Scorpion is in the nether realms, Kano in the background taking on some undead army of some sort. And Liu Kang is point blank blasting Shao Kahn in the face with some fire from his hands. But it seems like it's probably not going to do much to him anyways.
It's showtime.
Get over here!
Johnny will definitely die.
Says his catchphrase just before he's about to fight Baraka.
It's showtime.
Liu Kang, Jax, and Sonya are just standing behind Johnny as he's about to get into this fight. Baraka, and you could see members of Baraka's tribe behind them, cheering them on. They seem to be in Baraka's domain. So why does he get the home field advantage I'm sure the outcome of this fight is that Johnny actually wins in the end, but in the trailer, it looks like he doesn't do very well.
Get over here!
Scorpion is in the Netherrealm and does his double spear move and hits someone that says get over here, and then we see that's actually Noob Saibon. He's fighting the resurrected version of Sub-Zero who died in the last movie, Noob Saibon, which is just Ed Boon, John Tobias is the creators of the games. Their names backwards. And the suit that he's wearing is similar to Mortal Kombat 11. They seem to be taking the majority of their style cues from Mortal Kombat 11 and also using the size. Closer shot of Sonya shooting her wrist rings up close. You can see that the rings just form around her wrist and they shoot out. In a shot that initially looks like Jade and Kano attacking each other, they're actually attacking what looks like Shao Kahn. Kano using his I-beam and Jade using her green emerald staff, Kitana using her spinny fan blades point blank in Shao Kahn's face. So everyone is having a go at Shao Kahn, and yet they can't seem to still take him out. We got everyone basically, Lui Kang, Sonya Blade, Kitana, all fighting Shao Kahn at once, point blank on his helmet, and it doesn't seem to be affecting him at all. Raiden is battling Shao Kahn and he pulls some type of electrical ground pound move, which must be from the later games. I'm not familiar with this ground pound move. The serrated edge of the Revenant version of Kung Lao head helmet. You see how sharp it is, and there's singular blades that spin when he throws it. Extra vicious version of the hat he had from the first movie. A scene from the fake movie that we saw. There was a fake trailer of a Johnny Cage movie that was put on the internet a few months ago. And this looks like a shot from that same trailer, but are they going to show that same trailer inside this movie? It's just going to be some random trailer we're going to see. We get the Hollywood version of Johnny Cage smiling and winking at the camera. We see Hanzo, aka Scorpion, doing the Scorpion flame breath. He's doing it, but without the Scorpion mask. So does that mean without the Scorpion mask, he's not Scorpion, he's just Hanzo? But he can still do the flame breath. Every shot that Hanzo is in, he's in the Netherrealm. So is he always just there? Is his story trying to get back to the surface? Our first real good full shot of Baraka. We've seen some shots of him before, but this is kind of really the first full gander at Baraka. When he poses the blades in his hands to move up, and then I can't imagine there's going to be all that many funny moments in this film. In the last film, all the comedy relief came from Kano. But here they show Lui Kang saying a little thing, hey, you're going to die, haha, it's funny. Then we just see Johnny flipping and flopping backwards. Then the similar shot that we saw in the other trailer where Baraka's shooting his iron blades at him and Johnny's flipping and flapping. And so Johnny's a capable fighter. He's not a bad fighter, but he's not really used to fighting people that shoot blades from their arms. People with gigantic mouths that they could eat them with, big old blades coming from their arms. Baraka in the full shot. His suit doesn't seem to be inspired from one game completely. Another one that's kind of bits and pieces other games, though looking through the gallery on the fandom wiki websites, there doesn't seem to be a version of Baraka that straight up has chest armor like what he does in what it looks like he's wearing in this shot here, and then he has bones. And then what looks like he has belt made out of bones. So everything is very wood and bone structured in actual piles of skeletons behind them. People from his tribe behind him watching them. Baraka's mouth does look better than it did in earlier trailers. Since they have more time now between the May release, they could clean up some shots that maybe they rushed for the October release. But he also has a tattoo on one part of his face, a tribal tattoo on one part of his face. But the mouth, many teeth around it, looks a lot better this time, though it looks like it's half digital, and some of the digital work still isn't 100% that great. I think it would probably just look better with a practical device. So I'd say this is probably like half practical, half effect to get the full effect of the big gigantic mouth full of teeth. And the tongue that looks so big is probably all CG. Is there a version of Baraka with a tattoo?
It's showtime.
Well, that trailer did exactly what all movie trailers are supposed to do. Get me excited and make me want to watch it. We got quick flashes of Scorpion doing his iconic move, Noob Saibon lurking in the shadows, Sub-Zero chilling with the cold stare. And there was a lot of subtle blink and you might miss it shots that diehard gamers will scream about. The Earth Realm champions still have no chill. Johnny Cage isn't the only one with sass. This trailer teases more fighters from Earthrealm gathered to protect it, but honestly, at this point, we're just waiting for a dance battle to break out. If you had to piece together the trailer's secret plot, it seems like Earthrealm's champs are back. Shao Kahn is like, hello, I will assimilate you now. Johnny Cage is like, man, I just want Tuesday. Man, I just want some tacos. There's gonna be close-ups of fights so brutal. That's classic Mortal Kombat energy, and honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. Classic sign of realm merging in lore. These subtle beats are exactly what fan theorists live for. If this trailer proved anything, it's that this movie looks brutal. Johnny Cage is somehow both meme and icon. Shao Kahn is about to outbuff every other villain in cinematic history, and the Easter eggs are like hidden fatality triggers waiting to go off when you least expect them. Mortal Kombat 2 isn't just a sequel, it's a full-on punch in the retina. A split punch to the nads. It's spine-splitting fun. I, for one, am looking forward to May 8th to go see it in theaters and maybe even in IMAX just to see what a slow-mo of someone's face getting punched in will look like. Full IMAX glory.
You have been chosen for Mortal Kombat.
What about you, dear viewer? What were some Easter eggs that I missed? Comment below on what was your favorite part from the trailer, what you're most excited about. If you're looking forward to this movie, is there a character you haven't seen yet that you wish was in it? Or maybe there's a rumor that one's going to be in it that we did not see in the trailer. Comment below on any of that. But don't just drop it. Spell it out in 1080p slow-mo. And of course, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more trailer breakdown madness that actually makes sense. Or at least I pretend to. Keep gaming. T-Gan out.